Hello, Facebook. Welcome back to I Got My Miracle live from Rythmia Life Advancement Center here on this beautiful Saturday. We are located in Guanacaste, Costa Rica, and it is warm and sunny and we're all smiles. So we are so happy to be back with you again. And I just want to say welcome and welcome my beautiful guests this week, Vicki and Sean. Yeah, for I Got My Miracle, and just welcome all of you guys. If you've been to Rythmia, you know all about it, and please say hi. If this is your first time joining us, tell us where you're joining from. And if you're thinking about coming to Rythmia, come on. Hi, Meg. Nice to see you on here. Hi, Zen. We'll just give everybody a second to jump on. And it has been, hi, Rebecca. Hi, Melina. So nice to see all of you guys joining us today. It has been another amazing week. We had Taita here last week, and we had beautiful Pia singing for us this week, so the energy has been at an all-time high. Beautiful, right? So many miracles, and these guys are going to talk about all the miracles that happened all week long. So I am so honored to have you guys sitting with me today. Yeah. Excited to be here. Yeah. So, so where are you guys from?
Marina, Utah.
Cool.
Just over of Salt Lake City.
Yeah. Little different weather there from here.
Yeah. It was snowing the day we arrived, so I'm happy to be in Costa Rica for sure.
So no complaining about the warm weather.
Oh no.
Yeah. I feel you on that. So again, I just want to say welcome to everyone that's joining us. Yay. Saving to come to Rythmia. It will be the best vacation that you ever have. Hi from Canada. So many Canadians. You guys are all so nice.
These are the Canadians.
Yeah. Yeah, there are people here from all over this beautiful planet, each and every week, all age ranges, and we have so many new people coming and a lot of return guests. So Sean here was a guest for the first time, I believe, back in June.
Back in June.
And you finally got this one to come back with you.
Yeah. I came in June, experienced my miracles. They were beautiful, amazing, and immediately decided that we were going to come back, a group of us, and it was really important to me that I enrolled her to come with and come down here. Because I wanted to share, you know how that is.
Yeah.
You share something wonderful. I wanted to share it with the one I love. And also when I was here, there was a shamanic wedding. A couple got married in. We're not really married. We're together, but we didn't really have any kind of a ceremony. And so I wanted to experience that with her, but I wanted to keep it a big secret. So when I got back, I bought a ring and told my friends that something like that here, and my fingers were crossed, hoping that she would come down here and that we could, but it was going to be a surprise, have a shamanic ceremony while we were here, on top of all the miracles that we could experience.
That was a miracle in itself, right?
Yes, it was. A surprise miracle, yes.
Well, I can tell you guys both, your eyes are a little bit brighter, your smiles are a little bit bigger after this week, so wow. I mean, yeah. I would love, and I'm sure all of the people joining us would love to hear all about the, all of your miracles that happened. And so you guys arrived last Sunday. Mm-hmm. And how was the check-in process?
I just want to jump back to the van right here. You know, I got this clipboard. I needed to sign some things. I was sitting in the front, and I read it. About halfway through, I handed him the clipboard and I said, I'm not signing this, I want to go home.
She was more than a little bit difficult about enrolling her, and I just maintained, so if there's anybody out there that's had a miracle and they want to share with their loved ones, what worked for me was maintaining the space of seeing her on Wednesday night or Thursday night and all the beautiful miracles she experiences on top of my own, but I had no agenda, I had no expectations. There was no part of me that was going to tell her what she should or shouldn't choose. I was going to support the best I possibly could, whatever her choices were. So a lot of times I would just say, okay, if that's your choice, But even just saying,
I'm like,
okay,
you'll talk to people for hours, and when I have a complaint or I said a complaint or a question, you just say okay. I'm like, what is okay? Me okay.
even okay wasn't okay.
I felt like I was trying to pick a fight, so I had
She
an
was for
excuse.
6 months trying to pick a fight, even in the van ride. Then we did check.
So, but check-in, you arrive and there's these beautiful women in these beautiful blue dresses, and everyone is so nice. It's almost at first, and of course that was even something. I'm like, okay, they're overly nice. What am I getting myself into? But it was efficient. It was comfortable, and that's the anticipation just grew from there. But I could also see in all the employees, but even from the front desk people to the gift shop lady, there was something about them, and there was a peace, kind of a peace on the property that I really liked, and I wanted a part of it.
And you are a part of it.
I am a part of it.
I'm sure all the new
Yeah.
people that are arriving today are seeing that in you guys. It's just a little bit different of vibration frequency.
I noticed just walking down here to this room, we walked through the lobby, and I'm like, can you feel that? And it's not good or bad. It's just different. You can kind of feel their anticipation.
And you'll see when you go to the airport.
So you keep telling me that. Oh.
And so you guys got to experience breath work on Sunday night for your first ceremony. How was that?
I've experienced breath work in a different way, and I found this breath work to be difficult. I've done breath work 100 times, but with a partner. So this was more individual, and I struggled with it. I mean, you tell your experience.
It worked really well for me. I do know, sitting next to you, quickly Christian and some of the other supports, I don't know where.
Yes.
Seem to be in tune perfectly, willing to be there for you. Yeah.
Yes, they were right there.
Yeah.
I had most of my breakthroughs because there was just so much information Monday through Thursday, just so much. And I had some real beautiful breakthroughs, but the crystal clarity came on Friday and Saturday's breathwork. That's when I just like, okay, now it's completely clear to me. So I love the breathwork after taking ayahuasca.
And you guys will be breath work again tonight.
Yeah, we're definitely going tonight. Yeah.
So cool. So breath work, it can be a little bit challenging, but when you get to do it again on Friday after experiencing the plant ceremony, it's like, oh, now I know how to surrender a little bit better. Let me just open up and just experience. Hopefully tonight you guys will have another really great experience.
I'm open to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then Monday, you guys got to go to the opening talk, and there were some classes. And then Monday night with Shaman Christian.
All I can say about Monday night is I took it, and I was kind of still, I'm like laying there waiting for it to have something to happen, and I went to sleep, and I slept like a baby.
You slept to a baby until the second cup.
And
then somebody helped you.
Literally helped me, woke me up.
The great grandma of the group helped you over there.
Physically helped me take a drink, and I took the second cup, and I just dropped it. I basically just dropped right there in that spot and went back to sleep. And I don't know how I got back to sleep on the mattress, but I slept the entire time. So, and when I woke up, I was so disoriented.
Well, she woke up. I woke her up after, when they circled to share, and she was still sleeping, and I knew that she'd had a nada, but she had no idea what the nada was. Went over there and woke her up, and it took a little while to get her up, and she was completely disoriented, and I could tell that she was not on the earth or some, I don't know. She was just not on this plane, whatever words I can give it. I don't know how to explain that. I just knew that she was incredibly disoriented. And I also was well aware that she was having surgeries on it. So she's not only on the ayahuasca, she was on anesthesia, and her soul would have been someplace else in her body hadn't been worked on. So I knew she was completely out of it. So I helped her up, and she couldn't walk, and then she couldn't move, and we finally got her outside, and we'd go 20 or 30 feet, and then she'd have to sit down and be patient. And she kept complaining to me, the crickets are so loud, and the leaves of the tree, I wish they would quiet. They're so loud. Will you tell them not to be so loud? And I'm like, okay. You know, I want to get a little bit further. And she goes, my ears don't match. So if you imagine somebody who had been on anesthesia, how they're silly, you know, everybody has a YouTube video of somebody on, she was kind of like that, you know. She didn't tell me she wanted to be Nicki Minaj. But my ears don't match, and how come my ears don't match? And look at my ears, they're different, they're not the same. And, so I finally got her in the room, and she just dove into bed and was out. Laid her down, went to sleep later on myself. We woke up in the morning to go do yoga, and she woke up, we got dressed, and then we were walking out. And I always walk on Vicky's left side, always. If we're going to a movie, I sit on her left side. If we're at dinner, I sit on her left side. Everywhere we go, I'm always on her left side because she's deaf in her right side. Mm-hmm. And so when we were walking back to the first activity, we purposely walked on her right side. I didn't say anything, but just walking, we were talking. And she stopped and said, did you notice something? What? Did you tell? And she was, you're on my right side and I can hear you. So.
And just to give you a little history, I was in a diving accident like 32 years ago and lost my hearing. I had 5% hearing left in my right ear. So since I'm 18 years old, I've just heard the world out of one side. I didn't know what stereo meant. And when I realized, I walked out the door and I could hear the leaves rustle, you know, make noise in the breeze. I was just like, I couldn't believe it.
When she turned to me, and so maybe talk about this, you turned to me and said, do you notice something? And I said, yeah. I can hear you. Then you started sobbing.
The tears.
What was that experience?
You know, because I thought, I went and I drank the stuff and I thought, oh, I'm going to sleep for 4 nights. I could do that at home for free. Yeah. And we had talked with JJ. He had done one of the classes prior on Monday, and he had briefly mentioned Anata. And for some reason, someone told me, yeah, I'm going to be one of those Anata people. But I didn't realize that even though I experienced Anata, because even I got up that morning, got ready, and like, okay, yeah, I did nothing.
This was really stupid.
I didn't get anything. This is not, now I still want to go home. But then when all of a sudden I stopped, and I can't explain the feeling of being able to hear. I mean, some of the tears have dried up because I've cried buckets of them this week, but I stood there and I got a chance to just stand there and enjoy nature and all of its sounds. The crickets have this now, they were loud that night, but now I listen to them and they have a beautiful song that they sing. And all day
she was really worried about, I don't want to tell anyone because they're going to mock me and tell me this didn't occur. And if they mock me, maybe they'll take it away. Maybe if somebody says, well, that's bullshit, that can't happen, that's impossible, then my ear will go away. So she was definitely afraid Tuesday that it was just a temporary short term and it was going to be taken away.
I feared that if I drank the medicine again, it might reverse it. It gave it to me. Why, maybe it will take it away.
But it didn't.
No. And Jerry kind of confirmed that today in our closing group that, once you're given something, they're not going to take it away. And I'm like, but I also got the courage to share, which I'm not much of a sharer until now. And I shared with the group, and how many people were grateful that I shared that. And I've even had people come up and say, because you shared that, I went back the second night. So yes, I hear. If you notice, you're sitting on my right side. I can hear you fine. I went swimming and I'm like, oh, that's kind of not comfortable. So I got out of the pool and was going to walk to my lounge chair, and my equilibrium was off. And I almost fell down, and it was fabulous because I was off balance and I almost fell down. I made
She
it.
didn't know what it was like to have water in her right ear
Yeah.
for 32 years.
So I've kind of been dealing with the equilibrium issues, but
Getting to know it again.
yeah,
It's so beautiful.
it's so cool, and I'm not complaining one bit that I get dizzy or I get a little bit of nauseousness, but then I just stop and I breathe, just thank you, and go through it. And it's the most incredible feeling. I just really can't describe it.
Yeah. It's so cool, and you touched all of us. We were in the closing or in the plant integration when you shared that, and we all of us at the back, we all had tears in our eyes, and we were just like, wow,
Yeah,
what a miracle! That was only night one.
Yeah.
yeah, and
That was actually as beautiful as that miracle is, and I'll try to speak for Vicki a little bit.
Uh-huh.
The beautiful miracle that there's nothing but gratitude for.
Yeah.
But that was one of the smaller ones that we created together, but she created. There's bigger miracles. Would that be safe to say?
Yeah.
It
It's hard
just
to
kept
rank
getting
them.
better and better.
Yeah,
and
that's a
better.
better way to say it. Just kept getting better
Yeah.
and better and better. Yeah.
One on top of the other.
Yes.
So
Yes.
wow.
Yeah.
Well, that just touches us so much, just from night one. I mean,
Yeah.
wow. So, and so it's like anything is possible
Anything.
on this, and you just have to show up and believe.
And I think that's such a key to say, just show up and be open and believe, because like I said, I slept and I was being worked on, the medicine was working, even though I just went to sleep.
The nadas are extremely rare, to a true nada. They're extremely rare, and it's really going back to the creation, the beginning of your existence, to the origin, and doing the deepest of works that a lot of time we couldn't handle if we were awake. So it's extremely like a big blessing.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes, I'm grateful. The only thing I can say is I'm in deep gratitude.
Beautiful. So you guys want to talk about Tuesday?
Yeah,
night?
let's talk about
Yeah, so how was Tuesday? So Tuesday was Brad's night.
Yes.
Yes, and so she had a second nada, remember? She had a second nada that night, and that's when you faced it.
Yes. I woke up in a sheer panic when I did wake up. I don't know if anybody's suffered from addiction or have used illegal drugs. There's a point, I'll just be honest, I used to use crack, and then to come off crack, I would use meth. So I didn't have to transition, so I wouldn't Jones.
I don't want to interrupt you, but that was one of her major concerns is, I'm an addict, I've been sober for 20 plus years, I don't want it triggering, I'm not going back to being an addict again. I don't want to take this medicine. What if it, and so she would talk to other people out, and she was deeply in fear that the ayahuasca would bring her back to talk about that
Yeah.
fear. Talk about the moment when you woke up.
So I wake up and I'm stuck between the crack high and coming off. And I was in just sheer panic because I really thought I had put that down and I would never feel that feeling again. And I'm holding my head, and I remember screaming, just give me 3 hits of meth and I'll be good. I'll be able to handle this. I haven't said those words in, over 15 years. And so then the panic started in. And there was a shaman, I wish I knew her name. She's just this cute little thing with long brown hair. She was right there, and she instantly knew what was going on. So in tune. And she stayed with me. She knew exactly how much pressure to put on my hands or my head or my heart. And just sat, and she was with me to face, I was afraid, I didn't face it because I needed help. Because I latched onto her really tight. But she stuck with me until I went back to sleep for the end of it. And all as I know is it was the medicine's way of saying, here's the addiction, and there's a whole line of addiction down my family. And I know in my heart that that's what was being worked on. And I faced it. You don't need it. And I went through it.
She said, go ahead.
Because when we're on medicine, whatever's coming up is whatever's leaving. And so a lot of times those old feelings come up. The addiction, the fear, it could be anything that anyone in particular is dealing with. So for you had to feel that addiction feeling again in order to let it go.
And that's funny you say that, because through all 4 nights, I kept repeating that in my head. I hear JJ say it because he's the first one I heard say it. What's coming is going. So I would sit there, on other time, and I could hear myself. What's coming is going. What's coming. So that was really a helpful tool to know that that's, yeah. But when I woke up, he was right there, and I'm like, I'm not effing doing this again. This Tuesday night, and no way I'm not doing it.
Never fucking do this again. I said, okay.
So
You have to go to the
okay.
bathroom. She said yes. So I helped her go walk to the bathroom, and she went to the bathroom. She got all of her clarity in the morning after she went to bed. We walked back to bed, said something, and she woke up and said, when we were getting ready, guess what I did? And that was, I'm still an addict. I was still an addict, but I hadn't used drugs in 15, 16 years. Now I'm no longer an addict. I put that, I don't carry it at all. It's no longer a part of me.
Yeah.
Another tearful,
And it's
beautiful
a
moment.
huge burden that I carry, it's
Lots
a
of
huge
guilt.
stone that I carried in my backpack.
Not anymore. That backpack is full of love and
It's so
light.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's miracle number 2 right there. I mean, second night, and it just kept going.
That's so much like, thank you so much for sharing that, because we have so many people coming through with addiction problems every week, and they're always like, is this going to trigger me? Is it going to make me want to go back and do drugs again? And just to hear it from someone coming and saying, no, it doesn't. This medicine is not like anything else that you've ever done.
Yeah, so when I was able to process it, and even though I felt that for that moment, it seemed like it lasted hours. Yeah, I don't know, it could have lasted 5 minutes. I have no conception of time. But I can honestly feel like, yeah, I don't have to feel that again, because what's coming, it's gone.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool.
So you let it go, and you don't have to pick it back up.
No, and I'm not letting it define me anymore.
I love that. Anything else that you would like to add about Tuesday night?
No.
Well, we know that Wednesday was another good one.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yes, so much so.
So Wednesday was the night of the Divine Feminine. Ladies' night with Sarah. We had beautiful live music with Pia singing all night long. The voice of an angel. Oh my goodness. If you guys haven't heard of Pia, you should definitely look her up. And if you have, she's going to be coming back next year a couple of times. So stay tuned to find out those dates. Yeah.
I'm looking to experience her.
Yeah. So Wednesday night.
Wednesday night, probably a little bit of background. Vicki and I have been together around 10 years.
Okay.
When we first got in relationship with each other, staying the night with each other, she would wake up afraid. I thought she was sleepwalking, and I didn't understand what the heavens was going on. And I couldn't get her to wake up and get conscious. And this was a process of, for years, trying to figure out what was going on. Had her see a few people, lots of questions. I even one time when she woke up afraid, because over time she stopped getting, she wore utter just terror. That was at least 2-3 years. One time I had the idea to give her a crayon and a piece of paper and had her write her name and how old she was, and I found out it was her little girl. She said, my name is Vicki. She called her Vicki Mommy. And Vicki would talk about her little girl as another person, someone else. But a long journey to discover that several times a week when her little girl would wake up, and over a lot of work, it was very crystal clear that it was her little girl. But I would tell her, but she had no memory of it, because she would get up and be afraid. We'd be in a hotel, and if she was not, and she forgot to talk to the little girl, saying we went to California in a hotel, the little girl would wake up afraid, and I would see her hiding under a table, and then she'd see me and be okay. I'd get her back to go to bed. She'd need to be held tight and rocked, and then she'd wake up as Vicki and have to go pee. That's the pattern. And so she'd get up, run into the bathroom and go pee. It's important to kind of set the context a little bit, because Wednesday night had a lot to do with something like that. this was kind of my miracle in our relationship, something that was very big. She was part of it, but it was more for me, even though it was about her. You didn't have a nada, did you?
I slept the first count.
You slept the first couple, so you had your third nada. And I would, because she was worried and I was worried, we're in Rythmia doing ayahuasca in a room with 60 people. I didn't want to ever get in the way of her experience and growth, but I'm aware I never take my woman, and I want to make sure she was safe. So I never wanted to smother her, but I just, because I knew a little girl was going to wake up and be in terror, and that was not going to be okay. So she was asleep, and she woke up. We were outside, and she was laying on the grass, and I could tell that it was a little girl. And for the first time ever, she was in utter joy, in complete peace, in complete bliss. She was whole. And we were lucky to have, her birthday was 12/12. That was another reason why we came for her birthday, to the marriage and all of that thing.
And that full moon.
And the moon was the last full moon of the decade.
Uh-huh.
And she was just staring at the moon and pointing at it. And she would run down one of the sidewalks and look up, and the moon was following me. And then she would run the other, and I would try to keep up with her. It wasn't happening. And she'd run down the other sidewalk and look at the moon, and it was following her, and she couldn't believe. And I kept saying, yeah, that's the moon, and back and forth for about a half an hour. I just got to play with her 5, 6, 7-year-old girl, the girl that had been fractured from a gang rape at 7 years old was now fully, completely whole and totally safe. There's a rock that's a snake. It's a snake. It's
Big grandfather.
yeah, big grandfather snake. And she was holding hands, and we walked over, and I said, "That's a snake. She doesn't talk when she's with us." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay. If you say it's a cobra," and I said, "She won't touch it." And I went over and touched it, and then she got the courage and look at me, and then sneak up and touch it. As crazy as all this sounds, it's incredibly real for me, and it was just a miracle in our relationship to see her whole, because I had seen the terror and 10 years of having the woman of my life fractured from that horrific experience, and wanting her to feel safe, and wanting her, but incredibly powerful. I am.
You got to witness her merging back with her soul.
Yeah.
That childlike self.
Yeah. I got to witness it. She got to experience it, and I got to witness it. So that occurred once, and then it occurred later in the night, and I won't go, it was the same sort of thing. But I decided that the best I could share with 2 or 3 of the shamans what was going on, so that even though she believed me fully, I had other shamans see with their eyes what's going on, so they could explain to her as well. So there were 3 other shamans that they were wondering, like, she's running up and down, and they're like chasing after her, trying to talk to her. I'm like, oh, please get out of my way. And this is a miracle. Like, you're running into, and you wouldn't, you know.
It was all perfect.
They didn't understand.
It was all perfect.
And I explained it to them, and they were like, so afterwards, when she woke up, I could go to each of the shamans and say, without giving the word, what was your experience? And what would they say to you?
They would just say you were in complete bliss. You were happy, and you were just on a different, after one time, I guess after the last time my little girl came out, one of the shamans was at the door, and I was kind of stuck. So I went and sat with him, and I'm losing touch with reality. And he's like, you're not crazy. And he says, I just saw you in a different dimension. He says, that was your reality then, and you're just switching. And I'm like, I remember asking him, I said, was I happy in that reality? And he says, very. And I said, then put me back. And he's like, well, it's not quite how it works, but, and I could just, if the indication on his face and how he was smiling and just so tender with me, I knew something had occurred. And wow. And I, again, I don't recall any of it still, but I kind of got a little bit of validation. We went to bed that night.
Well, before that, we shared
Oh,
with
yeah.
the whole group.
That's right.
And then what's kind of your experience after we shared, because dozens of women came up to you.
Dozens. I've had women all week come up to me and just hang on to me and sob, saying, "Thank you for allowing him to tell that story in its entirety, because it heals other people."
Absolutely.
And so just the fact that I've been able to heal being gang raped and being, retrieving my little girl. So, and I've had all week, and it's been special for me to experience being part of somebody else's healing. And then
They totally get used to being a celebrity.
Thursday, it was later Thursday morning. I was exhausted. I had free time at the pool. Well, I fell asleep and took a nap. And that's when I knew that had happened. And this is because the journey has been so long. I had 3 other fractured personalities. Hannah, Charlie, and Rose. Rose was really mean, that I had created at that time in my life. And they all came to me in my dream. And it seemed like they were all standing right there by the pool and thanked me for bringing them all back. And so that's the one that really gets me, even though I'm grateful for my hearing, but I wasn't even sure I had a soul when it came here. So when I set my intention Wednesday night to show me my soul, it wasn't even to merge me with my soul. I just wanted to know I had one. And I got merged with them all. It was, I don't know, now I know I have a soul, and now I know how cute she is.
And now you get to take care of that little girl.
Yeah.
The really true essence of who you are. Love and light. That's it.
I remember, even since then, I've even had a conversation. Rose is mean. She's just mean. She's mean to people. And, there was a time I created her for a purpose. And I'm even able to thank her and let her be part of me, because, wow, she saved me from some things and protected me in a way. But, her time, her purpose, it's all merged together, and we can be one. And that's what part of what has healed my heart.
Wow, how transformational.
All in 3 days.
I feel like
none of this is possible. None of this actually occurred.
Yeah.
It's all perfect.
Yeah, it's all
Everything
perfect.
on the medicine is all perfect. Yeah.
Then Thursday.
So Wednesday night clearly was transformational.
Yeah.
And then Thursday during the day, you guys had a little time to get ready for Leo's Yahe ceremony.
We went to the beach, and I was just going to surprise her on Thursday, and then I chatted with the shaman. She said that doesn't work. She would have your choice, even though I knew that her choice would be yes. I'm like, so we went to the beach, and I gave her her ring. I asked her.
So they got engaged on Thursday and married.
And my birthday.
And a birthday and a full moon.
Yeah, right.
They had a beautiful shamanic spiritual wedding.
Before that, just one little thing.
Yeah.
One more vacation. It's heavy, but it's
Please
beautiful.
share.
The father of her children committed suicide while she was on the phone with him, begging him not to do it, but he did it anyway. And earlier that Thursday night, before we were married, I could hear her sobbing, and that was her coming to complete peace with
The guilt.
that guilt, feeling responsible for his suicide. Yeah.
I even, during a purge, noticed in this bucket there was a face, and I didn't realize till later, but it was my face of guilt. I purged what's coming is going, and I've carried that around. I mean, that was 19 years ago that happened. So that's another rock I carried in my backpack. It got really heavy.
That's full of light and love.
That's full of light and love now.
You made a lot of space for sweetness this week.
Yes.
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 Beautiful.
Our eyes are so bright. We're all so much brighter and lighter. Yeah.
It's amazing to see people walking around today and yesterday even. But mostly today, I noticed that people are walking with their head a little higher, just brighter. They look like they've dropped 10 years.
They have,
Yes.
or longer,
Yeah.
you know, shedding all of the old.
Yeah. And I will be back.
Yeah. For someone that was kicking and screaming, wanting to come
Right?
and wanting to get off of the bus
Yeah.
before she even arrived.
I'm coming back.
And then we have the ceremony, which was beautiful.
The ceremony, of course, I'm not sure it was an expectation, but I had this kind of vision of how it was going to go. I thought, oh, well, after the ceremony of ayahuasca is over, then we'll do it. Oh no, was that a surprise? I was in a dead sleep, and Sarah came and said, we're doing it now. Now? Yeah, okay, now it's good.
And Christian came and got me to help me because I was deep in the middle of ayahuasca.
But what a sweet, sweet, personable experience. It was personal. And the shaman that performed it,
What was his name again?
Leo.
He was so stoic, and then in front of us, he had this smile this big and just eyes this white, and it was beautiful.
He was genuinely excited for us, and it was the perfect ceremony. We didn't need something, some big wedding, and I don't know. It was perfect for us.
We've agreed to not really ever get married because I've been married twice and she's been married 3 times. So we're obviously terrible at being married, and we're really good at being not married.
Well, your souls are married
So our souls
now.
are married now,
Yeah.
You can just come back here every year for your anniversary.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, so that was a miracle in itself. Again, Thursday night, just sharing the wedding and going through the healing circles, and anything else on Thursday night? The yahe is a little different.
That's
I'm not sure I know.
The
Yahe is
yahe,
Thursday,
the
the
plant
Colombian
medicine,
medicine.
with the name of the brew.
Oh, yeah,
that was
that's a little
lots
different.
of
Yeah.
purging.
I wanted to share something about what night did we have the angel singer?
Wednesday night.
So, yes.
What's her?
Pia.
So she's an incredible woman in many ways. I just remember, I'm like, if she sings one more song, I'm just going to lose it. I'm like, I have to get outside. And I shared this with her. I'm like, I was laying there holding my head, and the song went in, and I thought, oh, good, she's done. And then she would start up again. Well, what is that all about? Because she's incredible. So I got outside, and I purged and purged and purged. And then after, that's all I wanted to hear. I wanted to get back near her and just listen. And when I shared that with her, she's like, that's what it's supposed to do. Because I was kind of like, I owe you an apology. I'm like, I was not very nice behind your back. And she's like, no, it was your ego was telling you no, and so not to like my voice, but it was bringing things up. And she says, so I did my job and it worked. And she says she was really cute. She's like, I'm happy to be a part of it. But yeah, I could not get outside fast enough. I couldn't get down the stairs. I'm like, just get me out of here. But then after I got rid of some things, and then it was just like, I just wanted to hear her voice.
The voice of an angel.
Oh my gosh, her voice never cracks. How do you do that? But you are an angel. So yes, she's very worth looking up because wow.
So we got to hear her on Wednesday night, and she also sang during the healing circles on Thursday.
Yeah, it was fun.
What a blessing.
I got to sing and dance with her.
After your wedding ceremony.
Yes.
Yes.
We danced like
What a
crazy
first
that day.
dance. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So, for years, 20, 30 years, I've been wanting to write a book about the high vibration of a relationship, the divine masculine and divine feminine. I explained it to Vicki for years on living on the mountaintops. It was my metaphor, living on the mountaintops. I just wasn't able to ever write it because I'd never been seen it anywhere I've looked. I've never seen that. I'm sure they exist all over. I've just never been experienced of it. And I couldn't do it without total authenticity. And I don't have a word. It wasn't an expectation because it wouldn't have worked, but there was a deep desire to create a relationship that now I can feel fully empowered in expressing the words and have it be honest and authentic and real. So that was my miracle.
And if this is
Many
on
others,
the
too.
mountaintops, I'm there for you.
I love it.
Yeah.
You guys are so beautiful together. I just
Thank you.
love your story and just seeing. I'll never forget when you came up to me on Thursday and you were like,
I know, I'm like, I didn't really even know you. And I had
smile
to
was
see you. I'm like,
so
I
big. It
Yeah.
was perfect.
Yeah.
All perfect. I mean, we'll get to see the sunrise together on Friday morning.
yes.
Yeah.
Does everything start to look a little bit different? Start to the colors are a little bit more vibrant. Clearly, you were hearing things a little bit differently. The birds singing, the cicadas chirping.
And I don't know, I have this attraction to the moon. Last night I was like,
Yeah.
The women, we are directly connected to the moon, you know.
yes.
So it's so beautiful. Just keep that, and you can always go to her and, you know, get downloads of information and just really stay connected.
It's so amazing. And yes, I will do my best to use the tools I've learned for sure. And I will be back to go deeper.
Yeah, and you're going to take the meditation back with you and, you know, just stay connected to the breathing. That's something you guys can do together, and journaling and reading. And I know you have some new books that you're going to start reading, and, you know, maybe some new hobbies to come up.
I have a book I want to write. So,
What was it called again?
Me, My Soul on the Moon, an ayahuasca experience. So
That'd be cool.
keep
I
writing.
can't wait to
All
read
right.
that. It's so perfect. So, okay, just a couple more questions. If there's some people watching that, you know, they're thinking about coming or have a family member trying to like drag them along and they're being resistant, what, in a couple words, what advice do you have?
Well, you're the one that experienced the resistance.
Yeah, I can speak from that point, but you were a resistor, so why you ended up here based on
did.
results. Why the heavens did that happen?
Yeah.
Because there's no way you were fucking doing this 100,000 times.
So after this experience, now what would you say to yourself 6 months ago?
You know, be open to miracles. I was lucky to have someone who had been here that, you know, I saw something in him. When he came home, there was something he had. I couldn't pinpoint, and I didn't understand. And I'm all about understanding. If you know somebody that's been here, trust them.
You can't explain the unexplainable. So even if you go home and you try to tell, it's still.
It doesn't come even
I
close.
attempted to explain it to her many times. She was so anti-resistant. She was afraid the first time I came down here that they were going to tell me, which is really funny because I don't know what anybody tells me to do, but they were going to tell me that I shouldn't be in a relationship with her and I need to leave because she's not good enough. And so she was uncertain, and so every time I tried every time I tried to share it, she was so close. She thought I wouldn't share with her. It was a talking to a brick wall. I wanted too deeply to share what we had.
And that was part of my resistance in the van, even because I thought, what if they meet me? Whoever they are. I don't know if you are part of the they group or not. What if they meet me and then they're certain that I'm not good enough?
Complete opposite.
So opposite.
You're part of our
opposite.
family now.
Yes.
And we can't wait to see you guys.
It's completely opposite than what, that was a huge fear of mine.
But you got what you deserved, and it's only the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's anybody who's resistant at all, whether it be money or whatever, the only way you're going to know is to experience it and have the courage to experience it. You know, you're not going to have the answers until you experience them. You just don't know. It takes the experience. So just make the choice, make the commitment. I made the choice and made the commitment. I can't control and nor will I try, and I can't choose for her, and I wasn't about to do that, and I was not going to manipulate. I was not going to set expectations. I was never going to choose any of those. All I said is, here's an opportunity you choose, and then I held the space of seeing her once again. I held it, and I wouldn't move in seeing the miracles because I knew they would come from. And I didn't move off my space. I'm off my stand. I was immovable. So
miracles are possible, and I sure
she
got.
screamed at me, I am never fucking doing this again. I said, okay, do you need to go to the bathroom? That's kind of it.
Yeah. Beautiful. I mean, thank you guys so much. What a beautiful weekend. You guys aren't the only ones that got miracles.
Oh,
No,
no.
there's a room
Gosh,
full
no.
of
I believe there was like 86, 87 people in your group this week. And we have another full house coming next week. Graham Hancock is here with us. He will be our guest speaker. And, you know, there is so many beautiful guest speakers that are going to be here in the new year. So if you're interested in coming to Rythmia, you can hop on to our website or call this number to get more information. And yeah, wow. And we can't wait to see you guys again. I know you'll be back.
Oh, yeah. There was 8 of us this time. There'll probably be 8.
So come with friends, come alone, come with family or
Yeah.
husband and wives. Come, just come.
I was impressed at the people who had the courage to just come alone, but they were never alone, you know?
You're never alone,
but-
which you definitely learned here.
Yeah.
But it's so nice to be around like-minded people and where everyone's vibration has, you know, risen together. You'll notice that when you go back to the airport today or tomorrow.
That's what they're saying. So we'll see.
And until then, until we see you guys again, I will see all of you guys back here next Saturday at 2 p.m. Actually, I won't. Meg's going to be joining you guys next Saturday for me. So please join Meg. And yeah, you guys have a wonderful holiday season. And we'll see you in the new year. So thank you again, Facebook.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.